Hey everyone, while we're on a roll, might as well knock out the next video. Just for the ones previous, this one will be adding mods and also editing types and spawnable types to get them working in the server. A lot of mods are different. A lot of them, well, a lot of them are the same, sorry. Some of them are different. So we just go through the basics. That'll get you set on your way. And if you do struggle with anything, as I always say, just drop a comment below. Or if I've got my Discord link in by then, just join the Discord, ask in the server owner section. I'll get back and help you as soon as I can. So basically, you want to go to your server. Again, I'm using two servers that are both live. I'm not touching my main one at the minute. I'm leaving it the way it is. So basically, if you're using GTX, again, all server providers are different. GTX is none-proof, I like to call it, and they are very responsive if things go wrong. Basically, you'll just excuse me that. Find a mod that you want, and it is literally as easy as pressing install. You press install, it'll download, and then once it downloads, it'll go back to the screen again, refreshes, and then when you have a little look in your file manager, you'll have the mod down here, and it's done it all for you. If it's off the workshop, it's installed the mod, it's added it to the workshop mods list, which is in your configuration file, which is all here. If you have anything that tells you that runs server side only off the store, you need to delete it out of here and put it down here. Otherwise, it won't work. But when you read descriptions of all mods, which you should do anyway, a lot of them give you an installation guide and tell you what it needs. So if it doesn't say none of that, you won't need it. And then obviously once I tell you, I'll go back to the old famous one because it's got a lot in it, which is Snafu. Um, and that's purely because it comes with two files, so I like using them as an example. I don't know if I still got them download from one of the early videos. No. So we'll take the Dayz files and the spawnable types. You've got your traders in there as well, for whichever trader you use. You've got Trader Plus. You've got that one looks like it's Dr. Jones. And you've got all classed anyway, so if some of them are missing, make yourself. Yes, that is Dr. Jones, that's Trader Plus, and that is expansion. It's all covered, so it's a good mod to use an example. Some of them don't come with this, and you just have to find all the names yourself, which is doing it in game, spawn the item in, and go that way the hard way around. But let's concentrate on what we got now. So we'll open that. And we will open this in Notepad++. So basically, this is how they're going to spawn in. Obviously, these won't work. These just to be, you need to turn these into spawnable types files. Excuse me, they won't work the way they're set up at the minute. It's an easy fix. I can fix it right now. So we go out of here, go into your MP missions. You're on, and then in here you have got spawnable types. There it is, right there. The easiest way to fix it is just grab that, Control C, go into here, Control V, and then literally just go all the way at the bottom, and it'll just end in spawnable types anyway. But just to confirm with yourself, you'd go back into your server, you'd go all the way at the bottom. As I said, even if you know what it ends in or what it starts in, just say do yourself a favour, copy and paste, and then Control and V to paste it in there, and then we'll just press save. Once we've downloaded, now I'm going to change now a workable spawnable types. Going back to the types file, it looks like a valid one, but me reading that, I know it's not. So again, best way to fix it, I know what to type, but obviously some of you guys might not. So we'll just go into the vanilla one. Everyone knows works. And then we'll copy it into there. We'll overwrite all that. We'll paste it in. Find the bottom. Oh, I know it's quite far down. And that ends correctly. You can double check by all means, best way to do it. So we'll scroll down on here. Even if you weren't too sure what it was and you can't still see it, just copy that out of there. Go back into there, copy it out, Control V, done. And then save, and you know that they now work. Right, Snafu, unfortunately, always comes in on tier 4. Always comes in tier 4. Now, if you're making new tiers, you're gonna have to go through and add your own tiers to it anyway. If you're using vanilla tiers on someone like on Cherno, this isn't too bad. You're gonna need to change them all. I feel for you if you're using Dayz, but Dayz has its own version. Get it off their Discord. They're quite good at things like that for giving you the Dayz version, which is brilliant. But me personally, I like to make a server with my own touch and my own personalized everything. So for me, I'd go through this individually. I'd have went through every type so far individually, the vanilla one and any of the ones I had, because I want them to spawn exactly where I want them and add the right teas to them. So if we're going to go through the basics, now that we're working with Dayz files, I'll explain everything here. After this, you've got the name of the item that you're looking at, about 50 cal. How many you want on the server. So that's telling how many you'd like is that one. There's plenty of videos that cover this, if mine doesn't cover everything properly for you. This is telling how quick to restock it once that one's been picked up. This is how long it lasts before it rotates around the server with no interaction. And this one here, so this one is how many you'd like. So say if that was 8. And then this one, so that one's saying, yeah, if you've got space, give me 8, please. This one's saying, you have to give me 1. Don't care how full the map is or etc, etc. You have to give me 1. I want 1 on the map. The only problem with forcing that though, if you set it to a like tier 4 is Tizzy, there's not a lot of Tizzy, so you sort of have to watch what you put in there. This is where the Dayz editor comes in. We'll have videos on that later on, about adding new areas to spread your loot basically, rather than just turn a lot of it off. Make sure it spawns in. Depends how you run your server. You might want one tap spawn at the core, so you change all this anyway. Because another file you should have open while you're doing this, and have a close by, is this one, which is CFG limits definition XML. So we'll download that as soon as that's finished, which it would be, I knew it'd be seconds. We'll open that with Notepad++. So we've got it there. And in that way, so when we want to add things on, obviously this is the one with my T5 and T6 and my oil rig and red room. Ignore them if you haven't edited your own tier map. I'm just integrating all my videos into one. It's like obviously AA12, obviously you add it wherever you want to add it. So you decide where you want to add it. Oh, I want it in your tier 3. Well, you know where your tier 3 is because you've already been through the tiers on the editor. Oh, you want it on tier 2. All you do is, the easiest way is, don't have to copy and paste, just change that to 2, change it to 1, change it whatever you want. And then obviously how many of them you'd like. How many you'd like and how many you must have. Quant min and quant max is a good one. We'll go through that as we go down. Quant min and quant max, right? So guns, -1's perfect. For anything with liquids or foods in it, if you want them full, you'd set them to -1. And this is why when we come to a mag, AA12, perfect right here. So I am quite greedy. I don't like people to get things on a platter. I do spawn guns incomplete for people, but I would always change this to something like 20% and 60% or 75%. Something like that. So what you're telling it there is if it's a 30 round mag, you're going to spawn in with 20% or 75% of that quantity that could fit in it. So you might get 4 bullets, you might get 18 if it was a 30 round mag. It all varies. It's just a random pick of the dice. Some guns are even empty, some of them are even full. I love that little twist because you're giving them a fully spawned gun, which gives them a good fighting chance, but it might only have 2 bullets in. So it looks good until they pick it up. But something that I've done for a long time. Me personally, I turn bullets off that could break things. So for example with Snafu, it never tells you how big the pack's spawning. I could tell you, but every mod that you're going to be using different, so I'm not going to go through them all, so I'll let you decide. But going back through all these, we've done quant min, quant max, we've got cost. Everyone leaves that to 100. It's not worth changing. What that's saying, it's a 1 to 100% chance of how important that weapon is. So everything's always set to 100. Don't get me wrong, if you've got some really rubbish stuff that you're not too bothered if it spawns in, but you'd like to leave it turned on, just change your cost down to 40%, 50%. If you change that, it'll take it off the top of the loop pool and bring it in as and when. It's a good little one to have. Flags. Obviously, Snafu is unfortunately wrong at times with counting player. When it should just be counting on map. You can count in play as well if you've got like a really hardcore server and you want everything hard. But realistically, everyone just sort of leaves a counting map. If you are using the original heli drops and events that come with a Dayz D-loop, that's exactly what they're for. That's actually an event, dynamic event loot. So that's what spawns in the early crashes. The only problem with that is sometimes, 90% of the time, it takes that item out of the map circulation. So you'd lose it and you'd only see it on the heli crashes or the events. Me personally, I turned them all off. I had my own with all the mods that we have the satisfaction of having, shall we say. But these I would go through and I'd personally copy that. I go Control F to bring this little box up. Press that across, and then we're going to paste that in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to change that to a 0. And apparently it's found 101 of 140, 446. Obviously, I've already got this file set myself, but I'm just doing this for your benefit. So what I personally do on me is I would do that. And then that way it's telling it I don't want it to count them in play. And then the other one we're going to go to is count in map. I'm going to copy that into there, paste, Control V to paste that in there. I'm going to change that to 1. And then same again, so I have them the wrong way around. Paste that. As you can see, it's changed them all. So now what that's going to do is count them all on the map instead. So if I tell it I want one on the map, it's going to find one on the map. It's not going to count them on the player no more. It doesn't matter, because what you want it to do is once a player's picked one up, you want it to spawn another one in. If you count on the player, it won't spawn another one in until that player's dead and that gun's gone. If they're a hoarder, this is where the problem lies. That's why that option's there as well. If people hoard stuff on your server, you don't want them hoarding. If you turn that to 1, it'll stop them spawning. So whenever this is maxed, even if it's in storage, if it's on the player, turn them to 1. In the cargo, turn them to 1, and they won't spawn until they're gone. It doesn't stop people hoarding, just means first come, first serve. It's depends on your server setup, really. Each to their own. I turn all ammo and weapon parts off, apart from mags and the guns themselves. And then obviously after your flags, your next one is categories. So category is always going to be weapons when you're dealing with weapons, but obviously there could be a mixture of any of these. So obviously with weapons you're going to be tagging them at military, but you could tag them at police, depending on what they are. Depends how dark and cynical you are. You could add them to schools. Could add little pistols to officers, rifles, hunting. It's entirely up to you. Like I say, this is where the person comes from. That's what your categories for, and your usage. So your categories up here. Categories say weapons. Obviously, if you have grenades and stuff, you'd put explosives. Books is just small items like upon shelves. That's generally where books would go. Same as food. They're pretty much anywhere. And these are the tags that you're going to put on them. Obviously, big, massive guns like the Barrett 50 cal. Now have a tag on them. But if there was going to have one, you'd put ground or floor, because it's too big to put on a shelf or a wardrobe or a locker. And then the bottom one is the value, where you want it to go. Again, you might only have 4 tiers. You might have 18 if you're on DRAL. And you just put it whereabouts on the map you want it on where your tier goes. Thankfully, Google is our best friend now, and it's added a tier map just to remind us where all the tiers are. So if you're ever in a doubt on where you wanted them. And yeah, you just have to go through. It is tedious. Go through, change everyone to how many you'd like, how many you must have, and where you want them to spawn. Each and every one. As much as your hard content looks like a lot of work, takes a while, but once it's done, it's done. That's the beauty of it. And enjoying stick your teeth in with that. And then going back to spawnable types that we've already added earlier on the previous video to our server, so it works. So spawnable types is we're telling the server how we want these items that are in here to spawn in. Obviously they're all guns. So this file that you get with Snafu, 25% rate. than spawn them with attachments on. Now, one thing you can do, say if you want them spawn in full, which I do, I love them spawning full. We just grab this, copy that, Control F again, press replace, paste in there. If we change that to 1.00 and replace all, now all I've done now is changed all of these down here, spawn in, and have the attachments chance at 1. So all these gonna spawn in complete, but with a random attachment on it. They're gonna spawn in identical. They're gonna spawn in with a random set on them, but fully complete. But again, because however you set your mags up, that's how many bullets will spawn in with. So again, for me, that would be 20, and yeah, it's only in this case only 80% chance it might be full. And then yeah, because you've already set these up in your server, which is in CFG Economy Core. Obviously, I put mine back to the way they were. It's a bad example of me opening that. But from the video previous, it was my second video I done. It'll be in the list just behind it. And then that'll read that file for you now. And obviously it'll be in there, all saved. I'll show you my active one now. So I've got my tier 6 in there, my tier 5s, but obviously police. Mags, same place. You want to find police station, same place. ACR gun, just tier 3 and 4 because it's not that powerful. All ammo's turned off, etc. etc. This will be linked on the Patreon when I manage to get my links up. Just like I said before, it's all free. Feel free to watch the video many times and go through it and change it all yourself. If you don't have time or you just can't be bothered and you want to take copies of what I have, you can, but there will be a Patreon membership for it. Type to you. You don't have to go for it if you don't want to. It's not forced. Everything is accessible, and it is made to be accessible for everyone. So, if you want to pay, you can to get access to the files instantly. I'd recommend you do it yourself to give yourself your own personal touch. It's entirely up to yourself. And yeah, that's just pretty much explaining the spawnable types and the types and what you have to do. And you'd have to do that with all of them, especially vanilla types. It's the first one to go through to remove and change what you don't want on it, where you want to move it to. And then you also have spawnable types on your vanilla weapons. And we're going to go through spawnable types and what we can spawn on zombies and whatnots shortly. I want the next future videos coming up quite pretty soon. But yeah, I hope I've covered a lot and helped a lot. Hopefully. If you need any more help on this category in particular, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.